welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Rongyi Cup, the Rongyi Cup Season 3 playoffs. I'm, of course, ShoWTimE VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and, of course, by my bunnies as well. Bienvenidos, one and all. We are here. We have been covering the group stage over the past 4 days. 3-4 days been non-stop group stage action, and we have our top 8. We have our top 8 players making it through into the playoffs, which will be beginning here before you. I say that technically these games did occur less than 24 hours ago, but we are here to bring them to you here and now live, leading into day 2, which will be taking place later on tonight. Again, we're going to be covering this via replays, day 2 via replays, as well as we do not have the time available to cover it live, unfortunately, but hopefully that does change coming in towards February and March. For now, though, we have our fresh series ready for you. It's going to be two best of fives back to back, herO versus ShoWTimE in a PvP, and of course we have a solo versus classic in a ZVP as well. Oh boy. Here we go. Before we get ahead of ourselves, a big shout out to Stan in the chat. God, Papi God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 37 months. 30, so that's a lot of months, Papi. Oh my god, over 3 years of support. Thank you so much for the subscription. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the content. We hope you enjoy the StarCraft. I just discovered this channel. Looks pretty cool. You're casting this Mind StarCrafty game. Is it a MOBA? It's a hex-based FPS, Papi, with roguelite elements. There you go. Good to see you, Isaac. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Likewise, Moritori as well. Shout out to Moritori for also subscribing with Twitch Prime for 24 months for 2 years of support. Thank you, Papa. Thank you. Crazy, Papa. Crazy. So much support. We do appreciate it. Again, when it comes to tonight's events, we are going to be covering day 1 of the playoffs, of course, day 1, and we'll be live tomorrow with day 2 of said playoffs as well. It's going to be I want to say 3 or 4. I think it's a 4-day event. 4-day event. Day 1, day 2, then semifinals, and then grand finals, which will be an offline event. Bear that in mind. I'm sure there's some people that are asking about the Thunderfire event. We'll be covering Thunderfire day 2 sometime next week, most likely. Again, it's just been a very intense period of time for us, and we'll find some time. Otherwise, we have our 2 best of 5s, and up first we do have our PvP. Let's jump in. Game 1 is going to be on White Rabbits. Very quickly, for those that may be tuning in for the first time and have not actually tuned into the group stage, 1, check out the VODs. We had some amazing games throughout the group stage. I do highly recommend those VODs. Of course, yesterday we were live with Group D with Solo versus Maru, and I do recommend that best of 3 ZVT. But this was a 16-player group stage that has been whittled down to 8-player playoffs. So that is what is beginning here, and of course, it is a 21,000 USD prize pool, so a massive prize pool. And as I alluded to, the finals will be offline. The finals is going to be taking place in China. It's going to be an offline event, so look forward to that once we get to that final day of playoffs. But until then, everything else is online. Here we go, as we're going to be jumping into game 1. Game 1 is going to be on White Rabbit. As we delve into our PvPs, let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Representing T1, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the red Protoss. Representing Sentinels, it is ShoWTimE. Here we go. We have our PvP, and it's going to be a spicy one here. Again, herO, in my mind, we did have our kind of predictions during the podcast, if you recall, but in my mind, herO, he is the heavy favorite. The reasoning for this is just because herO has won all the big major events as of late. RSL, Thunderfire, OSC, and again, this is looking to be the next one if he cannot be stopped. There are some players here that can threaten him 100%. Players like classic players like ShoWTimE. In PvP, anything can happen, and we have seen herO falter in PvP before. I mean, all Protoss players have, so we'll see. As herO moves out with the probe, he moves out for the proxy pylon. So interesting movement here out of herO. Does veer towards the right hand side. At the same time, ShoWTimE does go for his regular probe scout and will confirm that a pylon is missing, assuming that herO throws one down. And there it is. The pylon has been thrown down, so we have the proxy here out of herO. There's a prime location for a proxy robo for 1 base all in. It is so close here. It's almost yeah, a little bit concerning. Typically, whenever you go for a proxy, it's at a more obscure location. This feels too obvious. This feels too close in a sense. So ShoWTimE immediately sends out a second probe. Immediately sends out a second worker as well. ShoWTimE checking the main. Goes further in. This second probe is sinister. He's not scouting. He's going for his own proxy. Let's go. Okay. We do have a proxy versus a proxy. ShoWTimE, he did not get further into the main base. ShoWTimE did not scout. ShoWTimE actually doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't see. As we have the proxy gateway across the map. ShoWTimE is yet to confirm what's going on. And setting up for his own proxy. This is a more prime location for a robo. The gateway now makes more sense for herO, considering its location. Yep, there's a robo. So ShoWTimE's going for a one base all in. What is scary is that herO hits first. Like, the gateway's almost done. The gateway's almost complete. A warp gate is in production. herO, he should strike first, and we'll see how hard he's able to hit. That's the other question, of course, because it is only gateways. And the gateway's out of herO. Bearing in mind that herO, he didn't scout either. So herO has no scouting information. ShoWTimE just now confirms that a pylon is missing. He sees only two. So ShoWTimE, he's somewhat aware. ShoWTimE, he has some information. See that shade across the map. So is herO. Just the one adept. Just the one, but Stalker's going to be able to deal with this. Again, if herO's unable to deal much damage with this proxy, then ShoWTimE's going to snowball out of control. Shades in, gets one, gets two. Two probes going down, getting up to 3, getting up to potentially even 4. Yeah, 4 probe kills. A nice start, but we need more. We still need more damage. herO is going for his own proxy robo. Far later. Kills 6 probe kills, or 6 probe kills in total. herO has to be careful. Ooh, ShoWTimE, he does push first. ShoWTimE does shoot first. herO has to respect it, he has to back up, and oh, he has to be so careful here. And taking some extra hits. Meanwhile, it's going to be War Prism first, not Immortal. ShoWTimE busting into the main. herO, he's now aware, he does confirm that the tech is missing. And the Eps, they bust in. They bust into the main base. There's a shield battery, but Twideps, they don't care. Twideps, they still one-shot. And they get 1, they get 2 probe kills so far. 2, 3 probes going down. The Stalker's left idle. Getting up to 6 probe kills. And with that, the economy's evening up. ShoWTimE working on his Immortal. herO working on his Prism. Still very tense. Now, herO with a high enough Stalker count, he might be able to break this position, bearing in mind that because the robo is proxied, this Immortal will not help defensively. It has to be recalled. It has to be recalled back to be able to protect the main. herO getting on top of the pylon. Ooh, the Prism takes a lot of hits. Prism takes a lot of damage. ShoWTimE does push forward. Almost gets a Stalker. Almost. The Immortal's on the way. Got picked up by the Prism. One of the gateways goes down to 1 gateway. And warping in 1 unit at a time. herO ferrying into the main. Does ferry in, bleeds out one of the Stalkers, and herO, he's gonna be the Prism. No, the Prism. Oh, the Prism goes. The Prism barely gets away. Barely got away, Pappy. The Immortal has arrived, but is it gonna be enough? Ooh. Nice target firing. The Immortal does dish out a lot of damage. And ShoWTimE is holding. Yeah, the ShoWTimE he does hold. This Immortal just had so much more DPS. herO going for the Stalkers. Does focus fire. Gets one and does not get the other. Oh, no, Autobas! Barely does. Takes down all the Stalkers, but there's still 1 Immortal left. Yeah, there's still the problem of the Immortal. Meanwhile, second Immortal's on the way. Both Prisms are low. herO shading into the main, forcing a recall. And he does cripple the economy. I say that he gets 1 more probe kill. herO, he is ahead by 4. But he will lose both adepts. That's a big loss. Both adepts go down. herO has to pull away. As herO, he has now found the proxy. Bearing in mind that ShoWTimE did just recall back home, so recall's on cooldown. He has to be so careful with his army placement. with this positioning. Shades back into the main. There are no force fields, at least not for ShoWTimE. herO doesn't quite catch out the Immortal. I hope we got micro here out of ShoWTimE. But herO is going for the final gateway. He's trying to at least. Attempts to go for the gateway. He picks up a good amount of zealots, straight adepts. Gonna be what, 1, 2, 3 adepts going down. And he's pushing his way up the ramp. That gateway is getting low. Does get picked off. Takes down the gateway. And over time, herO, he can just outscale ShoWTimE. He's had the slightly better economy this entire time. He now has extra warpins. Adepts, they dive on the army. There's a shield battery, but it's out of energy. Yeah, the shield battery is out. Immortal, oh my god, barely gets saved. But there's only one Immortal left. GG gets caught here. He breaks the main base, and herO, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense and very chaotic game 1 with herO going for the proxy gateway into delayed proxy robo. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE going for the straight up proxy robo instead. But herO was able to be the aggressor. He was able to apply more pressure and force ShoWTimE to react and respond to him, just because herO was able to hit first. He was able to hit first, able to hit faster, able to hit harder, and was able to barely break through. Again, it was still very clutch. ShoWTimE had some nice moments when he was able to reinforce with his first Immortal. He was able to clean up all the Stalkers, but again, ShoWTimE still lost a lot of probes. He was still behind economically, and he was also bleeding out a lot of gateways, so he couldn't actually keep up supply-wise with herO. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into Game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Ruby Rock. Let's go. And let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. We go. And again, a very chaotic game 1. We didn't even get to talk about the players themselves really leading into that first game, but ShoWTimE, I mean, it's a moot point at this point, but ShoWTimE is very well known for being very cheesy and hyper aggressive and very all in, specifically in PvP, which is what we saw last game, right? We saw the attempted proxy robo 1 base all in. That's kind of the trend, or that's what we're going to be expecting throughout the course of the series from both players. We'll see if anyone slows things down and gets into a longer macro game. Bearing in mind that ShoWTimE, he's known for his longer macro game and his more mid to late gameplay in the other matchups against Terran, against Zerg. Manalo is going for his initial 2-gate opener, so is herO. herO veers off with one of the probes, and based on this location, looks like a fake proxy pylon. Now, technically, this location wouldn't be too bad for a proxy Stargate, so it could still be a Stargate if he sticks around, otherwise it'll be a fake out. So probe is in position. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE is yet to move out. Hello, The Duck. Happy day in stream class. Oh, este canoia, papi. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Este canoia. Hope you're doing well. My OCD is so thankful to Slowjo for rounding up the Bunny Vet Fund. That did happen, true. Slowjo, he did donate. It was this morning. It was this morning. He had to do some math to make it a nice round number. Shout out to Slowjo. True. Meanwhile, it's going to be a proxy. I assumed it was going to be a Stargate, but no, proxy Twilight Council. Now, typically, if you go for a Twilight Council like this, the reason for this would be to go for a proxy Dark Shrine to rush into DTs. I say that, but the probe doesn't stick around, so we might just go for a crazy early blink timing. Otherwise, I would have thought a Dark Shrine would be on the table. But again, there's no probe. herO pulls away. And yeah, we're going into blink. So fast blink out of herO. We're expecting a higher gateway count, so we have 2 gates in the main, now getting a 3rd, and we may even see a 4th gateway. Hallucination Scout confirms no base, confirms no expansion, confirms that a pylon is missing, and confirms that the tech is missing as well. So for all that ShoWTimE knows, this could be DTs, right? This could be a Dark Shrine. There could be a Twilight Council hidden or a Stargate hidden. Something is wrong. And it's on ShoWTimE to figure it out. ShoWTimE setting up spotter pylons. Yep, he's going for the earlier robo. So with this robo, he will have earlier detection. You can see here a shield battery in the main base, shield battery in the natural. ShoWTimE trying to figure out what's going on, preparing for anything. And herO is expanding. It's not going to be an all-in. He did not go up to... He canceled. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, herO knows you got scouted, so the mind games are real, papi. Ay, ay, ay. So herO, remember, he was getting a 3rd gateway. The hallucination came in and got a full scout. That's why ShoWTimE is preparing. ShoWTimE is turtling up as best he can, getting ready for an all-in. So herO cancels. Cancels the gateway, expands, and gets a forge. herO is not going all in. He's going to try to subvert expectations here, subvert ShoWTimE's expectations, and we'll see if it's going to be good enough. Bearing in mind that economically, ShoWTimE is ahead. ShoWTimE, he has mining here at the natural. herO's natural isn't even done. So this is a really bold move that herO is going for, right? By trying to deviate and kind of shift gears and switch out of an all-in and try to fake an all-in. But the reality is that ShoWTimE is still in a better position, so herO has to force kind of a bigger investment. And what are we seeing? Another shield battery. See, every shield battery that's being made here is helping herO. Like herO, he wants ShoWTimE to overreact. He wants ShoWTimE to invest into more units and more buildings, and there it is, a shield battery, another one. So 2nd shield battery here on the low ground. Immortals are amassing. Now, the scariest part about this is that eventually ShoWTimE's going to realize what's happening. Oh, as we blink into the main. And herO does overwhelm. Yeah, he overwhelms, he overpowers. Does threaten. But he has to get the hell out of here, and he doesn't lose the Stalker. Gets a pylon. Okay. Picks up a pylon, pulls away. Nice moves out of herO. Very slick. At the same time, as they go into the middle line, 2 probes go down. Nice distraction out of herO. Even going for the sentries, one volley, and he does get a sentry as well. herO finding damage. He gets 2 probes, he gets a sentry, he gets a pylon, delays the production. Very nice damage. Now, what I was about to say here is that herO has to be careful because he's poking the bear, right? On the one hand, yes, he's forcing this big investment into an army. Eventually, ShoWTimE's going to push. ShoWTimE is going to be like, hey, you didn't all in. And he's about to, right? Here comes the hallucination. So ShoWTimE is about to confirm that herO has been expanding, that herO has been teching, that herO is building up, and that's going to trigger ShoWTimE to counterattack. Once again, though, nice blink into the main. ShoWTimE's out of position. Yeah, ShoWTimE's out of position. Another pylon goes down. Once again, depowers everything in the main. Depowers both gateways, the only gateways. Going for the battery. You can see ShoWTimE trying to catch out the army, but herO, he just goes further in. Dives further in, goes for the recall. He may lose 1 Stalker. Yep, 1 Stalker goes down, but this is well worth it for herO. He gets 2 more probes. He gets a pylon, gets a shield battery. He depowers all the gateways, disrupts the production. And now here comes the counterattack, but ShoWTimE has been delayed. And we'll see if herO can get away with this. +1 is about to finish in 10 seconds. So hero's going to have the better upgrades. He gets 1, he gets 2 Stalkers. 2 for 1, 3 for 1. Nice wing control. Does pull away, triggers the shields. So far, better trades from herO. Pulls back, he tops up his army. +1 is now complete. He's got sentries for force fields. Now ShoWTimE still has those 2 immortals, true. He's got 2 immortals, he does have a force field available. Goes for the hallucination. Tries to lock down the army. But herO with the observer, he sees the hallucination, he knows. Likewise, nice hold position micro. herO gonna try to catch any reinforcements, but he will barely miss that immortal. herO, he was close. herO spots the retreat, and he's just gonna beat him back home. He's gonna find an immortal. Does find one. Oh, yeah, massive pickup. Gets 1. Oh my god, Jesus. Almost got 1. Clutch save out of ShoWTimE. Clutch shave, a recall to try to beat him. The prism gets caught out, the immortal as well. Oh my god, herO, he still finds damage despite the recall, despite being spotted. herO gets the prism, he still gets the immortal. Ay, ay, ay. Hero, calm down. And now he expands. Hero is claiming a third base while applying pressure. This time ShoWTimE's in position. Yeah, he's ready in the main. He can punish. Here he does get a pylon, gets a sentry, but that's going to be 1, 2, 3 stalkers. Oh, up to 4 stalkers going down. Sorry, 3. So finally ShoWTimE's able to punish. The first big win here for ShoWTimE. Observer gets caught out. Okay. So ShoWTimE, he punishes the stalkers, snipes the observer. ShoWTimE now can expand. But again, ShoWTimE, this is still a 0-0 army. +2 is halfway done for herO. Still getting better upgrades. God, that's a lot of immortals. We have 4, soon to be 5 immortals. Immortals, they don't care about your upgrades. It's a hefty immortal army. Hallucination confirms at least 4 immortals. herO needs charge, ideally. No, he's being proactive. Okay. He's moving up with his own forces. And you can see here the supply disparity. The reasoning for this, I mean, herO did pick up some key units, that is true, but here he's had the better economy. Faster now, he's been able to build up his natural, faster third, saturated third base. herO does bypass the main army, hits the third. Oh. And ShoWTimE, does he turn around? He does not, so we're going for the base trade. He's going for the base trade. herO, he does turn around though. He's going to chase ShoWTimE. He's racing back home. ShoWTimE will beat him there. ShoWTimE has the high ground, has the ramp. Yeah, nice force fields. Pushing into the natural. herO completely out of position. I almost wonder if herO should have gone for the base trade. We're getting raced back home. herO trying to push into a wall of force fields. Rover gets depowered. herO trying to dive in. The army is trapped. But again, it's very awkward to try to push forward here for herO. Does pull the boys. Yeah, blinks forward, takes on the Prism. Prism goes down. Some of the immortals not able to engage. But herO will clean this up. Yeah, he cleans up everything here. There's no way out of this. There's 1 immortal left. Again, still trying to engage. Very congested. herO just wants to move in. Oh, there's a recall. And here he picks up a couple of stalkers. And what's scary here is that here he lost 15 probes. He's still equivalent in workers. He has 40 probes to the 42 workers of ShoWTimE. So that's how far ahead herO was economically. And the scary thing is that what did ShoWTimE have previously? He had the higher immortal count. He had 5. Now he's down to 2. He's down to 2 immortals. Still with 0-0 upgrades. And here he dives in. No shield batteries. He gets 1 immortal. And should be able to pick up the other. Yeah, the batteries are finishing up, but it's too little too late. And here he just overwhelms, breaks through the main army. And again, a very chaotic, very intense game here with herO just bypassing, herO just kind of feeding ShoWTimE false information, or just being very active, very fluid. GG. GG gets called. herO takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. That was a crazy game. Remember, herO, initially he went for the proxy, Twilight Council into Blink. He was going and setting up for hyper aggression. He got scouted, and then bam, he cancelled. He cancelled the gateway. He started his own expansion, but he was still very active with stalkers, and he sold the story. He sold the story that he was going for an all-in, and ShoWTimE over-prepared. But not just that, ShoWTimE, he over-defended, but also failed to defend against the aggression of herO. Like herO, he still found damage. He was picking up probes, pylons, and sentries, despite ShoWTimE taking a very defensive stance. So I'm just a little bit shocked that that happened, that herO still found that damage despite ShoWTimE being hyper defensive, and herO just got further ahead. herO took the faster third base, got ahead worker-wise, economically, army size, production, all in fair upgrades, of course, as well. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, herO, he's up 2-0, and we'll see if ShoWTimE can begin the comeback as he's up against the wall, and we're going to be loading into the Old Republic. herO needs 1 more game to claim the series. ShoWTimE has to fight back here and now. Let's go. Let's go. And spawning in the right-hand corner. In the right-hand corner here of the Old Republic, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss, the South Korean Protoss, representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the German Protoss, representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 3 here, and again, herO has a lead. And oh, herO going for the low ground setup. Okay, but wait, what? Not just low ground setup. The pylon's in a really odd place as well. It's exposed. What's happening? What? Nexus first? God, what is happening? Oh, this is illegal. I've seen Australia do this like once, maybe. Even Australia went gate expand. He went single gateway expand. Going straight, just raw Nexus first is insane. ShoWTimE scouts. ShoWTimE, he sees that the pylon is exposed. He sees the gateway just got thrown down. He sees the Nexus first, and ShoWTimE, rightfully so, should one base all in. This is illegal. Like this is not. This should not be possible. Punish him, papi. Jesus. Oh my god. Confidence out of herO is what I will say. Like, he is up 2-0, but this is hyper greed. This insane confidence out of herO. Oh my god, ShoWTimE. No. ShoWTimE, he kills the Tastealope, or Artosalope? I don't. But here we go. The pylon has been thrown down. The cyber core is still on the way. This should be a proxy robo. This should be a one base all in, and this should kill. Meanwhile, herO, he scouts. He spots the proxy. And can herO deny this? We do have a zealot on the way. It should be chronoed as soon as possible to try to get on top of the pylon. Here comes the robo. Here comes the all in. Robo, second pylon to make sure everything stays powered, even if the first pylon goes down. Adepts are on the way. herO just now getting his own cyber core. Again, aye. As the pylon's being focused down, ShoWTimE is here to save it. We'll zone away the zealots. We have stalkers now in production from both players. Immortal first out of ShoWTimE. He's getting his immortal. Here he chases down the first adept. Nice pick up. So I'll take down the first adept. herO going for the forward shield battery. I mean, again, herO, he has to defend the low ground. Is the issue here? He has to fight on the low ground. And he's making as many adepts, sorry, as many stalkers as he can. Getting it to 6. 6 stalkers, 2 shield batteries. And I'll be very impressed if herO can pull this off. As herO does catch some reinforcements. Oh no, the move command. Never mind. But hero's getting into the main. herO pushing into the main base at the same time. ShoWTimE pushing forward, trying to catch up more of these stalkers. We have that defensive warp in. Catching out 2 of the stalkers. Nice force field. Pylon goes down, depowers the gateways at the same time. We just see herO gets on top of the immortal. No shot! Oh my god! The immortal goes down. herO, he's holding. No shot. He's holding on, Pappy. He's crazy. Ah. As herO does recall back into the main. Recalling back in, zoning away. ShoWTimE rotates over towards the low ground. herO, he's blocked up. Oh no! Jesus! herO depowers 4 of his own shield batteries. I just realized how... He has 6 shield batteries here at the natural. That's crazy. Half of them depowered. Oh! As herO wants that prism. Prism goes down. The immortal does punish at least. Catching out 2 stalkers. But that's a lot of batteries, and hopefully herO can make use of them. herO does bypass. Gonna be forced back. Trying to distract, trying to pull away. ShoWTimE is having none of it. Has to rebuild his War Prism once again. He's lost it twice, right? Once. So rebuilding his Prism. He will have that micro potential. Last herO will not. I'm still a little bit on the fence about herO posturing like this, out of range of all of his shield batteries. But he will get the first shot off, ideally. As ShoWTimE rotates onto the same plane of elevation. Still rallying. Oh, he gets a free Stalker. ShoWTimE, can he get into the main? Again, there's only one battery, and it's not even powered. Yeah, the pylon is going to go down. Depowers the battery. And ShoWTimE is going for it. Oh, he's trying to. Doesn't load. Yeah, slowly elevating in. Opts not to. I mean, it would be a good way not to deal with all this. Very nice force field using the SimCity against herO. Yeah, the Immortals are trapped. Stalkers move in. Initially, better engaged for ShoWTimE. And catching out the sentries. Oof. As the Immortals, they break out. They've broken out. Some rough move command. Gonna be forced back. And hero's what I'm gonna do is once again bleeding out more Stalkers. More Stalkers being thrown away. And ShoWTimE is pushing in. Yeah, he's successfully pushing in. With the power of 3 Immortals, the shield batteries, they don't even matter, and they're out of energy. He burned through all the energy. Yeah, the shield batteries, they do nothing. ShoWTimE breaks through, he breaks in. There's one Immortal left. Again, just the sheer burst damage of all these Immortals, like they just tore through the Stalkers. And now we're down to 2 units left. GG gets called. ShoWTimE, he does fight back. He does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. It has been a very long time since I've seen just straight up Nexus first. Like at pylon into Nexus, that was insane as a build of choice there for herO. I'm glad that it did not work. Like, it's not meant to. It's illegal, it's illegal. But a hyper greed out of herO. He even had 6 shield batteries on the low ground, and hey, herO, he had some nice moves. Able to catch the Prism, able to catch one of the Immortals. Like herO did have some nice moves there for him, but still not enough to overcome just the sheer amount of army there was knocking down his front door. Again, he had a bunch of shield batteries, but more than anything, what was really hurting herO in that final fight and in all the fights that occurred at the natural was the SimCity. Like, it was so congested because of just the lack of room. There were all these shield batteries, the gateways, the cyber core, the Nexus, everything was so condensed there. It was so awkward for herO to actually make his way through to engage. Because of that, he was kind of I should say he was creating his own choke point that was working against him, where most of the time during that fight, half his army wasn't even able to engage. Like, they were just zoned away. There was just not enough room. Yeah, just not enough room, so just a really chaotic fight there for herO. GG gets called, and with that, we have a series, we have a back and forth, and we're going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, chama, papi, chama. ST36. Cześć. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. As morning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, leading the series 2-1 and still 1 game away from claiming the series. We'll see if he can close it out here and now. For T1, it is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the German Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. Putting a point on the board and 1 game away from forcing the ace match. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Welcome one and all to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool, and we should not be seeing herO set up on the low ground. You can already see the pylon in the main. Remember last game, the pylon was here on the low ground exposed as well. It was crazy. It was a crazy build, a crazy game 3, but now we're calming down. Now, we have yet to experience any kind of macro game in this series so far, in this best of 5, and that's to be expected. I did mention at the beginning of the broadcast, or the beginning of the series, that both ShoWTimE and herO are hyper aggressive in PvP. We expect a lot of cheese, proxies, all-ins, and I still expect that here, but we'll see. So far, 2-gate opener versus 2-gate opener. Now, there is a bit of a difference here. ShoWTimE sets up at the ramp, herO sets up in his own main. What is the difference? Technically, herO is slightly ahead economically. The distance, the travel time that it takes for the probe to throw down the pylon and go back to mining, throw down the gateway, go back to mining, throw down the other gateway, the cyber core, because these buildings are so close to the mineral line, technically herO has a slight economic edge over ShoWTimE. Technically. The downside though is that you have a gaping hole here at the ramp, right? You have a massive hole, you have a massive entrance, and as a result, ShoWTimE can try to abuse this with an adept-based opener, as your SimCity is going to be lacking here. But herO is going for a one base all in. So on the one hand, it's kind of best of both worlds actually. So herO has a slightly better economy because of the placement of his buildings, and he's going for an all in, which should not allow ShoWTimE to have the chance to get across the map. That's the theory, at least. As herO pokes in, spots with gateways, doesn't see much else, gets zoned away. As ShoWTimE does wall off. But again, with this robot, we can get a War Prism, we can get the adepts into the mineral lines, followed up by the Immortals. And it's herO's turn to all in. It is his turn. Nice call out of ShoWTimE, going for his own defensive robo. Again, ShoWTimE, he did scout, he is aware that a pylon is missing. You can see he's checking. Probe on the left, Stalker on the left, probe on the right, another Stalker in the center. ShoWTimE is desperately looking for the proxy, and he doesn't feel safe. He's going for the robo. He'll have his own defensive immortal production. So again, this is a very safe build here by ShoWTimE, but he is yet to scout. He is yet to confirm. Nice catch on the adepts. Does deal some hull damage. Ooh, but does not take down the adepts. They do get away. ShoWTimE, he just keeps going. He just keeps going in. There's a sentry, there's a force field. At the same time, we have 4 adepts and the immortal across the map. Back at home, we have 2 stalkers to defend. Oh, the immortal's lagging behind. ShoWTimE does move in. I believe did snipe the sentry. Sentry went down, Immortal has arrived. ShoWTimE trying to force his way in, but here he breaks through the front door. Yeah, he breaks into the main base. Adepts, they go straight for the mineral line. 2 adepts taking 1-shot probes, and probes are going down at the same time. As ShoWTimE, he's still trying to break into the main himself, not quite able to. No, with stalkers, and that's gonna be 5 dead workers, 5 dead probes. Yeah, 6 probes. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Looks like maybe Bratok did lag out. But here we go. ShoWTimE, he depowers all the... Sorry, here he depowers all the gateways as well. So 6 probe kills, depowers the gateways. At the same time, ShoWTimE trying to depower the robo, but last hero, he's all over this. Here he defends the robo. Keeps 2 stalkers in position. Once again, he shades into the main. Oof. Does save the adepts, okay. Does end up saving. Adepts are saved, the gateway goes down. ShoWTimE, he can warp in, well, not 2 units at a time. He did have a backup gateway. Get 3. Now down to 2. And soon to be down to 1. Okay, the Force was doing a great job at just delaying some of the DPS, some of the army. ShoWTimE trying to buy time for another immortal. He's trying to buy more time. Ooh, meanwhile ShoWTimE gets into the main, not bad. 4 probes. Picks off 4 workers. herO rotating over. Does almost a ply block. Picking off a pylon. ShoWTimE does have a proxy pylon. That's how he's able to warp in across the map. But ShoWTimE is supply blocked. He can't make the immortal. He's trying to force his way in. Oh, does lock down one of the immortals, forcing the recall, and it's not going to be good enough. Oh, the immortal goes down. And that's moves out of herO. Catching out one of the immortals. Oh, herO actually choosing to expand. Okay. It gets scouted. Bold move out of herO, but he's going for the Nexus. Stargate's on the way as well. herO, now the win condition is not to kill, is not to push up into the main, but instead to contain. To contain ShoWTimE. Here come the Phoenixes. ShoWTimE, he happens to be going for his own disruptor play. So Bay into disruptors. Disruptors have a lot of potential, but how do you counter them? With Phoenixes. If you can lift, you can deny that Nova. As ShoWTimE bold move, he moves out with his immortals. He's going for the immortal drop. Now, this is calculated because, again, he knows that there's a base. So there's a high chance that herO won't push up the ramp. As herO threatens. So because ShoWTimE knows he's safe in his main base, he does go for the counterattack. Does go for the drop. But the Phoenixes are here, and the Phoenixes they punish. GG gets called, they kill the Prism and both Immortals, and with that, herO will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. A very intense, very chaotic PvP here between these two players. We did not get to macro. We did not get up to 2-base saturation. No, not at all. Just hyper aggression, non-stop cheese, and non-stop proxies. And in the end, herO did come out on top. Again, we did see some crazy builds out of herO as well, specifically on the Old Republic, which is where ShoWTimE did punish the greed from herO. But here in the final game, herO, he was able to get his own proxy up and running. It was able to apply pressure, able to outtrade, and eventually force force a decision out of ShoWTimE, right? ShoWTimE, he felt the need to counterattack just because he knew that he was behind, just because he knew that herO was expanding and herO was banking Phoenixes. So in a way, was able to bait him in, shut that down. Even if that didn't happen, again, Phoenixes would already be ideal against disruptors as well. So it was just a really rough position there for ShoWTimE. Very rough. GG. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations to herO. herO does advance on. ShoWTimE is now out of the tournament. There is no lower bracket. It's not double elimination. One life is all you have. So ShoWTimE, he is out, and we have one best of 5 remaining here. It's going to be a best of 5 ZVP between Solar and Classic. Oh boy, here we go. Now we are going to be going on a very short break, bear that in mind. Just breaking it up a little bit because we only had 2 series. Only 2 series, just 2 best of 5s here for day 1. So we are halfway through the broadcast. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes here with a ZVP, with Solar and Classic. See you soon, baby. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the semifinals, sorry, the quarterfinals here, the playoffs, day one of the playoffs here of the Rongyi Cup Season 3. We've been going over the group stage over the past couple of days, and now we're here with playoffs day number 1. We just wrapped up with our first series. herO did take down ShoWTimE in a best of 5, and now we have one series left, another best of 5. A ZVP this time though, between Solar and Classic. Let's go, baby, let's go. If you recall, during the podcast and our predictions, we were leaning a little bit more heavily here towards herO to even claim the entire event, but we can see players like these two stopping it, for sure. These are some of the best Zerg and Protoss players in the world that are about to face off, and we'll see who comes out on top, who will face off against herO in the next round. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Zerg player, we have the Blue Zerg. Oh, the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Protoss player. The Red Protoss player representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Here we go. Now, coming into this, Solar, he has had a different approach to ZVP as of late. We've seen a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, very little macro play, and typically very high intensity play here out of Solar, going for a lot of 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, timing attacks as well, looking to kill Protoss early. Now, I will say that certain maps do favor this kind of style. Maps like this, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map of the map pool. We do expect to see Solar to go for one kind of all-in, or a kind of all-in, typically on 3 bases. One of the reasons for this, it's a short rest distance by ground, but also this area here is very accessible. The triangular third base is very accessible. Likewise, the area here in between the natural and third base is also very wide, very accessible as well. So we have seen a lot of German taxis, we have seen a lot of Roach Queen all-ins and Ling Hydra all-ins as well. When it comes to other forms of play on larger maps, that's when we can start talking about mutas. Muta play has been seeing a spike in popularity because of the buffs to the Spire and the changes made in the most recent patch. So muta play is seen on maps like Title Citadel or Celestial Enclave, Winter Madness, White Rabbit. On those larger maps, we can discuss that. On these smaller maps, though, it is very rare and very risky to try to rush into that kind of tech. So we'll see. Likewise, I should also say that Classic is not one to take this lying down. Classic is also a very aggressive player himself. Not as aggressive and not as chaotic as herO. Sure, like herO, he is kind of the peak of that kind of play. But Classic likewise can also be very assertive as well. Going for early adept timings, going for early charge timings. We actually brought this up a couple of days ago. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past couple of weeks, it's been a more recent change, but if you were watching, say, herO versus herO during the Thunderfire tournament, this was like, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, there's been a shift in ZVP. There's been a shift from the Protoss side of things. The meta, the standard for a very, very long time was Stargate opener into a third base into +1 and blink, right? That was the standard. But in every game of herO series, and since then, every game in Classic series, or not every game, but very often from Classic, we have seen charge instead of blink. We've seen a lot more charge-based compositions and charge-based follow-ups and charge-based openers instead of blink. What's the reasoning for this? Well, if your opponent's playing quote-unquote standard, the Zerg player I mean, then there's a very high chance that they skip their roaches, right? That they go into Ling Hydra. And Ling Hydra compositions is the go-to, is very weak, very vulnerable to these charge timings. That is where herO found a lot of success. That is where Classic has also found a lot of success as well. And again, that's been over the past month, 3 weeks-ish. For the past 3 weeks. That is how herO 3-0'd herO, right? herO, he 3-0'd herO by doing non-stop charge timings and charge builds. herO had a very hard time keeping up. And we'll see if that trend continues here for Classic, and we'll see how Solar will adjust, if at all. So again, ZVP has been changing quite a bit. For now, though, we have our initial Stargate into Oracle into a third base, so the opener itself is staying the same, is normal, is meta, is standard. So far, so good. Third base is on the way. One adept did go down, and that is going to trigger Solar counterattacking. As Classic is looking for any stray drones. Nothing here at the natural. Second Oracle is at the third. Another adept does shade in. And, oh, does get 2 drones. Okay, 2 drones do go down. Not the best trade here for Classic. That was 2 adepts for 2 drones. And does find what? Oh, doesn't quite find another drone here at the third. Classic pulls away. Here comes the Twilight Council. Here comes the Forge. I will see if Classic goes into +1 in Blink or +1 in Charge instead. As the Oracle is taking a lot of hull damage. Oof, yeah, a lot of hull damage here. The Oracle has to get the hell out of here. He's going to be pinned back. And oh no, can he get away? Looks like he can. Yeah, there's enough dead space here behind the bases. The Oracle does pull out. That was a lot of damage, and Classic didn't really get much done with them. Ooh, okay, we're going Lair first. Okay, so Lair first out of Solar. No Evo Chamber, no +1. Now, with this earlier Lair, we could commit into Roach Ravager, or there's a higher chance it's going to be Roach into Hydra. Lack of upgrades and lack of Evo Chamber makes us lean away from a Ling heavy composition, as that would coincide with +1 melee. Oracle goes in, gets 3 more drones. Nice damage here by Classic. Picks off 3 workers. Meanwhile, it is going to be +1 in Blink. Did Classic see the Warren? He did not. He did not see the Roach Warren. But because this is not going to be a Ling heavy composition, it is better here that Classic is going into Blink, not Charge. So +1 in Blink. Solar does try to poke in. Yep, there it is. There's that Hydrogen. As we mentioned, it is going to be Roach Hydra. Ooh, Stasis Trap going off in the main. Ay, ay, ay. Stasis goes off. We have the splash of choice for a Classic. We have seen players mixing Colossus, but no, we're going into Storm. Storm is on the way. Classic poking out. Meanwhile, it looks like it was just a safety Roach Warren. Otherwise, we would see Roach Speed. So it does look like a very heavy Hydra composition, and this looks like a 3-base all-in. Now, why do I say that? Well, we brought something up earlier, and it's here now. No Evo Chamber, no chambers, no upgrades. Solar, he joins up to 3-base saturation. If you remember, we brought this up during the group stage when casting Shin. This is a build that Solar's known for. Shin did this in the group stage as well. It is a 3-base Hydra all-in, like mass Hydra and only Hydra upgrades. Oh, as Solar, he has some redroning to do. That's 5 drones going down. He has to replace them. This is slowing Solar down. And again, Storm is going to be a big factor here if we can get into it, though. There we go. Storm is on the way. Now, if Storm can finish, Classic and hold. But again, the map is so small. But Solar, he has had to redrone. He's now getting into Roach, straight into Hydra speed. Remember, 0 saturation at the 4th base. The 4th base is just for Larva. It's not for the economy. And here comes Solar. Yeah, here comes the all-in. He's moving out across the map. Nice pick up here on the Hydras. Gets 1, gets 2. 2, 3, 4 Hydras go down. Classic is out trading the reinforcements of Solar. But Classic doesn't have anything at home to defend. Storm is still not yet complete. Yeah, Storm is still on the way. He has all these High Templar, but no Storm. Solar breaks through. Solar, he breaks through. He busts into the natural lings. They flood into the mineral line. Cybercore goes down. Still no Storm. And this may just be too much. Yeah, Solar, he's done it. He's just bypassed Classic's army. Getting into the main. Going for the production. Storm is almost done there. Oh, yeah, Storm is complete. High Templar, they're coming in. And who's trapped in here with who? Is the question. 7 probes going down. There are the Storms. Stalkers, they recalled back home to the 3rd. And the Storms are landing. Yeah, the Storms are landing. 1 High Templar gets picked off. There's 1 Storm left. Oof, Storm lands. And Classic is defending. No shot. Yeah, Classic cleans up every single Hydra. What did Classic lose here? The Hydras went all the way into the base, but he only lost 9 probes. 9 probes and a Cybercore. True, Cybercore did go down. 2 gateways got depowered. Do we have any Storms left? Only 1 High Templar remaining. And remember, Solar, he cannot scale well into a longer game. He's getting caught out. So yeah, all these Hydras will fall. Ay, ay, ay. Charge kicks in. There's 1 Zealot left. Down to 0. Oh no. Yeah, more Zealots trickle in. And these are some expensive losses here for Solar. It's still very much on a knife's edge. Solar down to 3 Hydras. Oh, picks off a Stalker. And another. Every Stalker counts. No Storm. Classic overextends. Yeah, Classic, he does overextend. High Templar falls as well. The Templar Archives were sniped. I didn't even notice. Okay. Solar can still do this. Solar, he can still pull this off. Remember, Solar, he's still very much so all in. He's not been droning. He has saturation here because he's been transferring. Just been transferring over. Oh, never mind. Now he starts droning. Okay. I'm a little bit torn here. So the droning is indicative that Solar, he may just back off. But now though, splits up his army. Nice thing run by. Hits the right hand side. Hydra towards the left. Storm zones. Storm zones away. I didn't notice the Eva chamber. There it is. Eva chamber got thrown down. So again, Solar, he's thinking about a longer game, but he's not quite convinced. We have roach speed on the way. He's building up more roaches. Solar, he only droned up a little bit, up to 67 workers. That is still 3 base saturation. Solar's still all in. Okay, still all in. He's choosing not to get upgrades, choosing not to get the infestation pits, choosing not to get hive. Now, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Classic. Meanwhile, Solar has 0-0. What does Classic have? +3. Like, +3 is on the way. Like, again, the quality of the army here for Classic is slowly becoming insane. He's also getting a 4th base up and running as well. Solar's on the timer. Solar's on the timer. And also, bearing in mind, the soup does lie. Solar, he's up in army supply, but that is inflated because of the roaches. Just bear that in mind. Oh, this is too greedy. Classic going for the fleet beacon. Bold move. Classic investing a lot here into further tech. Solar, here comes the main army. Storms do zone. We get some decent storms, but Classic is running out. There's the NG overcharge. Does land a very juicy storm. Oh my god. Gets storm on the Hydras. Hydras get softened up. Another storm on the left hand side. Classic, he's holding. The storms are good. Storms are solid. And he retains the High Templar. That's what's important here. He's still got 3 High Templar on the right. He's got, no Templar on the left. Solar, he rotates. He rallies everything over towards the 4th. Storm lands. Classic Solar army's responding. Another storm lands as well. Oh, god. There's 1 storm left. Doesn't want to waste it. Now, High Templar, they pull away. The Archons have arrived, plenty of Stalkers, and Classic holds. Yeah, Classic completely shuts this down. A very impressive defense here by Classic. Defends the 3rd, defends the 4th base, chases down the army. Zealots take it across the map to catch reinforcements. And as we mentioned, Solo was all in. He was all in this entire time. Classic has +3. The mothership is on the way. Classic, of course, still has to respect this position of Solar, as Classic has no storms left. There's 2 High Templar, massive blink, catching up the roaches. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A very impressive defense there by Classic. I'll be honest, winding a little bit back here, when he got into the natural, when Classic was pushing on the left hand side and Solar bypassed the army, slipped into the natural and got into the main base, I thought that was going to be game. I thought that was going to be game then and there. But as you mentioned, Solar didn't really achieve much damage there. He killed 9 probes. He killed the Cyber Core, killed the Pylon, did kill the Temple Archives. True. That was a big pick off here for Solar, but he lost everything. He lost all the Hydras, all the Lings, and he failed to get any damage done at the 3rd base. So Classic stabilized. From there, Classic did stabilize. The amount of damage dealt from Solar was not good enough, and Classic snowballed out of control. Again, with just better upgrades, with a better quality army, and with a 4th base as well. GG, well played. Also winding it back as well before that, one of the reasons why Classic was able to defend, was able to survive, is because of the lead up into the all-in. Remember, we were emphasizing how Classic was killing a lot of drones, he was killing a lot of workers, forcing them to be replaced, and also catching out Hydras as well, as he was counterattacking across the map. So I will say that Classic did have the better early game, and Solar kind of stumbled his way into the all-in. His all-in was delayed. Was weakened, and here we go. We're now getting into game 2, going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Classic knows how to hold a mid-game attack. You mean a 3-base all-in? Was a 3-base all-in? But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss leading the series 1-0 for Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Now, with the Hydra all-in failing, we might see it one more time in the series. It's a best of 5. It's a best of 5, so there's a chance we might see it again. But welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet, I would say, has much more secure bases. The third base has the high ground advantage. There's no way to kind of run by or counterattack to hit the natural. So your initial 3-base setup here is pretty secure. Your even 4-base setup is very tight-knit. The bases are very tight-knit, so I would say it is a little bit easier for the Protoss player to build up on 4 bases. The downside is the rush distance. I believe the rush distance by ground on this map is shorter than any other map in the current map pool. Shorter than Tourmaline, shorter than Ruby Rock. So because of that, reinforcements arrive faster, that is true, but the defensive army is going to be very centralized. So I would expect to see Solar build up in towards a longer game. Now, if we do see the mid-game here out of Solar, what would we see? There is a build that Solar is fond of where he does rush quickly into lurkers, where he tries to cut corners, rushes into lurkers, and does have a lurker timing. So that's going to be available here to Solar. We spoke about Muta play earlier. I would say that it is risky to play Mutas on 10,000 feet, but technically it is an option here for Solar as well. We'll see. I should also emphasize I'm just talking a lot about what Solar can get up to. Technically, again, Classic can be aggressive as well. Throws on the pylon here in between the bases. Classic, he was more of the reactive player last game, but we'll see what he goes for this time. We have seen Classic embrace Glaive Adepts many a time, so that is also on the table. And because the bases are more defensible here, Classic might be tempted to go into Glaives. For now, Stargate Opener out of Classic. So far, so good. Classic, he is one to mix in, say, Voider Openers and Tempest Rushes. That is true. Classic did popularize that a couple of years ago in GSL and kind of permeated through there. I was back on Alkione, if you recall. So we'll see as Classic does threaten the shade. From here, we're just waiting for the third base and waiting for the further tech timing. Waiting to see when the Twilight Council gets thrown down and compare. As your Overlord is going to be zoned back. As the Overlord is going to be hunted down. This will deny some vision, and scouting here from Solar is going to make it that much more difficult to confirm what's going on. We can see Classic going for the center expansion. As we mentioned, like again, the bases are just very close together. And defending the forward base defends the natural. So it's all very centralized. As we have both Oracles moving out. Remember, 2 Oracles, they can one-shot drones. At the same time, we have 2 Adepts on the right-hand side as well. And we'll see if Solar can keep up. Adepts, they shed into the third. Oracles was a natural. Spores in position. Oracles are zoned away. Ooh, the Oracle will almost go down. Oh my god! Yeah, 1 shot away, down to 3 HP. At the same time, Adepts, they shed into the middle line. They get 1 drone. Just 1. Yeah, just 1 drone kill. So a decent defense here by Solar. Shuts down the Adepts. And once again, that is a fast lair. Oh. So far, same build. From Solar, at least. So this is the same build here. Except that is an earlier Roach Warren. No, actually, no, last game he also got the Roach Warren at this time as well. Yeah. So this is a 450-ish lair timing. We do have the early Roach Warren. Last game, this led into the 3-base Hydra all-in, if you recall. But based on the Roach Warren placement, there it is. German Taxi. We have Overlord Speed on the way. We're going to load up the Queens, load up the Roaches. We are setting up for a different form of all-in. And again, all-ins are what we expect out of Solar, but clearly he has different shades, right? Different shades, different kinds. Doesn't have to rely on the same build multiple times in a series. And we'll see if Classic can get a read on what's going on. Times the Queen. Queen does go down 5 drones as well. Nice damage. He does scout the Roach Warren. This is a big moment here for Classic. Now again, the timing of the lair and the timing of the Roach Warren isn't the biggest tell, but the fact that the Roach Warren is hidden here, I mean, that does raise some flags. As here we go, the drop lords are morphing in. Here come the drop lords. The overlords are moving out to spread creep. Queens are about to load up. The taxis are coming. And we're cutting workers early. Cancels the gas geyser. I was about to say that I was surprised to see another gas taken, but it's only 4 gases. 2 here at the natural, 1 in the main, 1 at the third. The gases are spread out to make it more difficult to scout. And remember, that gas geyser was a fake out. So fake gas there from Solar. He's going for the all-in. Cutting workers at under 3 base saturation. Remember, the 4th base is just for larva. And what is there to defend? Almost nothing. Yeah, this Classic, he was taking, he was expanding, focusing on this economy. The Queens, they drop in, and there is nothing here to defend. We have a feedback. That's what we got. Yeah, just a feedback here. And again, Solo, he did a great job when it comes to masking the build. And as he mentioned, this is the shortest rush system map in the map pool. So these all-ins, they hit even faster on this map than any other map here. As that's going to be 19 dead workers. 19 probes. Both gateways. And behind this, now Solo drones. Like, now he's droning up. I mean, he's already broken the bases. He's already broken Classic. Classic, he has been broken. As things, they flood in, they pick up more Stalkers, more Zealots. There's no batteries here, of course. Why would there be? Classic had no idea it was an all-in. GG gets called, and Solar, he ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Classic call with his pants down. Solar going for a much faster all-in this time, and also feeding Classic false information, right? Faking extra gases, making it look like he was taking when he really wasn't. As you mentioned, the lair timing wasn't the biggest tell, but the Roach Warren should have raised some flags, to be honest. He should have raised some flags. So Classic, he failed to confirm, he failed to realize what was going on, and he had nothing to defend, right? He was getting ready for an Archon drop into Storm follow-up, and he was skipping warp-ins, he was building up his 3rd base. GG well played. Too greedy, was unaware, and now we have a series. Now we have a back and forth, and now we're going to be loading into White Rabbit. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the well-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg, the South Korean Zerg for Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. Okay, so Solar, he's embraced nothing but all-ins so far in the series, but I would say that coincides with the maps. Game 1 was Ruby Rock. Game 2 was 10,000 feet. If Game 3 was Tourmaline, I would say that Solar would all-in 3 games in a row. But Tourmaline isn't here. So based on the 2 maps, it makes sense, but now we're loading into one of the larger maps in the map pool. Welcome to White Rabbit. White Rabbit is a much larger map, longer rush distance by ground, but also more distance between the fringe bases. The 3rd base, the 4th base, the 5th base are much more spread out on this larger map. It does leave them vulnerable in the mid game and in the late game as well. But because of these facts, I don't really expect to see Solar be aggressive. I expect him to drone, I expect him to saturate, get up to a 3-base economy, and start to take off from there. Now, what I will say, I brought this up previously, is that, hey, now that we're embracing some of these larger maps, that is where Mutaplay is a possibility. Not saying he has to, but it's going to be in the back of my mind at least, potentially throwing it down the Spire. Otherwise, we could just be seeing Lingbane Hydra, or even Lingbane Hydra into Lurker. I do know that a lot of the Europeans have been playing around a lot with fast ultra rushes in this matchup, but Solo isn't really one to embrace that, and that's also a style that kind of has fallen out of fashion over the past month. It was a little bit more trendy like in November, December, but nowadays less so. This Classic is being as annoying as possible. Trying to delay mining. Likewise, pylon into a Stargate, standard opener here out of Classic. When it comes to Classic setup here, we do expect to just see standard play. This is where the turns can table though. The size of the map doesn't really influence or affect how aggressive a Protoss player can be just because of how Warp-In works. Like, they can still be very aggressive and very assertive. So if Classic reads that Solo is going to be more economic focused, then Classic could turn the tables on him and be the aggressor instead. We see that a lot from herO. Like herO, he is very, very much so willing to just turn up the aggression and try to punish a more standard playing Zerg player. But we'll see. This Classic does poke in. Oracles are on the way. This will lead into a third base. And then we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council. Likewise, so far Solo has been going for these 450 lair timings before Evo Chamber. So far 2 games in a row now. Obviously leading into different builds, but both all wins. So we'll keep an eye on the tech to see if he goes for another fast lair or a faster Evo Chamber. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Evo Chamber this time, but we'll see. Classic, he rotates over towards the main. Spots the Zerglings. Checks the third. Perhaps a threat in the shade. So far, no major commitment. Does commit into the natural though, where the Lings, yeah, Lings out of position. 1, 2 drones go down. Does wedge himself in between the mineral lines. And the Oracles, they dive into the third. The Spores not quite yet done. Getting to 6 drone kills. Very nice. 6 drones go down. Nice damage here from Classic. He pulls away. We do see Solo's counterattack. Remember, he just killed both Adepts. But the Oracles should be at home to defend. Yeah, they're racing back home. There's 2 Adepts here in position as well. These Lings, they shouldn't achieve much damage, and there it is. It's going to be a 440 lair timing. So 3 games in a row now. 3 games in a row, lair first. Lair first into the Roach Warren. Yep, so far this is the same build all 3 games. Of course, the follow-up was different. Game 1 was a 3-base all-in, was Mass Hydra or Ling Hydra. Game 2 was an earlier German Taxi. Game 3, oh, already a deviation, Evo Chamber. Now, because this Evo Chamber is as late as it is, there's a higher chance it's going to be +1 range, not +1 melee. So we're leaning more towards range. Oracles, they poke in. One of them takes out a lot of hull damage, but does get away. And then pulls out, going for the stasis trap. Solo does react in time this time. Oh, and we do see a big deviation. This is what hero's been doing recently. We spoke about this at the start of the series, but that is +1 in charge, not blink. This is going to be more ideal against a more Ling Hydra heavy composition. But as we mentioned before, the setup here isn't really for Ling Hydra. There it is, Spire play. Let's go. And again, there's a reason why we brought this up at the start of this game. As we mentioned, on these larger maps, this is more viable, so we are going into the mutas. So it's going to be Roaches into mutas. Roach speed is on the way as well. Will Classic Scouts. Uh-oh. Pokes in. He's so close. He does scout, he does confirm. Ay, takes down one of the queens. But more importantly, he does get eyes on the spire. Meanwhile, 2 more oracles was left hand side, 4 oracles in total. Jesus, calm down. Takes down 2 queens, decent stasis trap. At the same time, we have Storm on the way, remember early charge, and Classic is going for an early push. He's going for an early timing. He might even strike before the mutas are ready. At the same time, Solar dropping into the main, attempting to harass. Storm is almost done. And Lings, they're causing some chaos. They're forcing back the oracles. Some decent damage. Nothing major yet. Gets 2. Gets 3. Gets 3 probes. Meanwhile, here comes the main army. Here comes the timing. Again, we have charge, +1, and Storm. Where are the High Templar? Never mind. There's no Templar ready. Despite Storm finishing, there's no Templar for Storm. I mean, he's got his Archons. That may be good enough. We'll see. I'm not entirely convinced. We have 9 mutas on the way. As well as they catch out a queen. Roaches are coming from behind. The Archons are on their own. Get some decent juggling here, but the Prism is going to be focused down. Never mind. The Prism stands strong. Oh my god, the charge thoughts. There are so many of them. They get on top of the Roach Warren. They zone away the main Roach army. The Archon's able to hold its own at least for a time. Only 3 mutas left. And the Zealous break in. Zealous break on in. They take down the Roach Warren. They bust into the main as well. Drones are going down left and right. And in the end, the mutas were not worth it. It was a big gamble, a big investment going into mutas. It was not worth it. 28 drones go down. At the same time, we have a league run by, but there's a defensive warpin. And again, this is critical damage. 31 drones. And the Warren. That's the biggest issue here. Because the Roach Warren went down, now there's no reinforcements. Now there's no Roach counterattack. So no Roach counterattack. There are Archons morphing in. We have Phoenixes on the way. Again, unfortunately, Solar, he was scouted, right? The Spire was seen, and Classic knew that he could strike before he could really make use of those mutas. And again, here comes a counterattack, but there are no reinforcements. Remember, there's no Roach Warren. Yep, GG gets called. The counterattack will fail, and Classic takes a lead in the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, we did see a deviation here by Solar. He wanted to try to get into a longer game. He was going into mutas, which again makes sense on White Rabbit, but he got scattered. He got scattered, and once that Classic Soul was going on, he was already going into charge is the issue. He was already building up a charge, already going for that early timing attack, and he was able to strike then and there. Didn't push with High Templar and Storm, pushed instead with his Archons, and just a massive wave of Zealots with +1. GG. GG, well played. Instead of Solar this time was cool with his pants down. Again, the mutas, they hurt him more than helping him there. GG. GG, well played. That's leading us here into our next game. Classic needs Onomas one more game to claim the series. Meanwhile, we'll see if Solar can force the ace match. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. Again, one game away from claiming the series. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. As he needs one win here to force the ace match to bring us all the way to Game 5. The pressure is on. Pressure is on. So far, we do have our 15 hatch. Classic unable to force the unnatural natural. Sure, he was hoping for it. As we can take a breath, and welcome one all to the Old Republic. This is another one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map has a relatively secure 3-base setup. The 4th base is more exposed though. The low ground 4th base, the linear 4th base, we have seen many players struggle to defend and struggle to be defensive. So we'll see how our players will approach this. We're expecting an all-in out of Solar. I know that last game he deviated away from all-ins and he was instead going for a cheeky tech choice. This time though, we're expecting to see Solar I would expect to see a Hydra all in, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. I would expect it to strike the third base more than anything. Or there would be fourth. True. There would be fourth base. So we'll see if Solar goes up to 3 base saturation, or if he does decide to cut workers earlier than that. I typically would bring up the fact that we could see Mutas here, but after seeing its last game, I don't expect to see it 2 games in a row. Usually it's unwise to try to do that, whether it's Mutas or some other kind of like niche build or quirky tech. You don't want to rely on it too heavily. As we have Classic going for a Stargate. Just standard open out of Classic. Opening Stargate, Adepts are moving out. Once again, we have our initial dance here. It's going to be up to Soul to keep up with the Adept Harass and the Oracles as well. See if he can. So far, this series Classic has been quite successful with his Adept and Oracle Harass. Every game, it has been worth it. Killing Queens, drones, stasis traps as well. Yeah, it's been impressive. It's been crazy, Pappy. Been crazy. Classic has arrived. He's got his 2 Adepts. He's got his Oracle. For now, just sitting himself here at the 3rd base, denying any kind of mining. Does not quite get the Larva. Clutch Morph in there at a Solar. Does Morph in time. As we dive into the mid-line, the Center Spore is done. Nice catch. Yes, Spore does punish. Up until this point, Soul's been delaying his Spore at his 3rd base, but not this time. Classic with his pants down. Meanwhile, it's going to be once again a faster lair out of Solar. Classic himself going for his Twilight Council into Forge. +1 and most likely Blink on the way. And once again, it's the same build that we saw last game, the same opener. It's going to be earlier lair into Roach Horn into Evo Chamber. Now, last game, this led into Roach Speed and, of course, into the Spire. I don't really expect to see that again. We could see Roaches into Hydras instead. We'll see. Meanwhile, Classic is going to charge. So, +1 in charge. We did speak about this at the start of the series, how this is a more trendy kind of style in the mid-game that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. It's how herO took down several 3-0, 2 weeks ago? And Classics, I mean, all Proto Splits have been enjoying it that much more. Up. As the Depsay shade into the 3rd base, 3 drones go down. Ay, denied mining as well. Scouts to the gases, we're getting up to 6. Yeah, 6 gases actually being built here for Solar. Remember last time the gases were fake. This time they're real. Ooh, and he is going for the Spire. Okay. When I say they were fake, that was on 10,000 feet, if you recall. And Classic, he sees 2 gases here. He has yet to confirm the gases at the natural. One Oracle did go down, 2 Oracles in total. That means less vision, less scouting. True, there's now more reason to get that Spire. There's less scouting from Classic. There's a higher chance that this will actually work this time. Okay. You have my attention. As the observer does poke in, confirms saturation, confirms another gas is a tell. That's a lot of gas being taken. As far as Classic knows, that is a 5th gas geyser. We know that it's 7. As he confirms the upgrades, at least. Another gas on the way. Classic meanwhile just building up his High Templar, Storm, Archons, Charge Lots, no Blink Stalker, so he's going to have less anti-air than a standard build. And what does the observer see? Prism on the right hand side. Muta production has begun. Ooh, going for a second Robo. Again, anti-air is very limited here for Classic. He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. Oh, I believe. Yeah, he did see. Yeah, he saw the mutas. Did spot the mutas with the observers. We have Phoenixes on the way. He's reacting. Throws down a cannon in the main. Yeah, Prism is still bottom right. Muta's going to be deflected. Again, the Stalkers were warped in. These are vanilla Stalkers. And Classic is on the back foot. Now, on the one hand, Mutas, they are able to gain some map control. That is true. But no major damage yet. As Mutas, they threaten the natural. Oh. Takes down one of the gas geysers. Second Phoenix has arrived. Solar is being hyper aggressive with this. He did run up to 83, but he is hyper fixated here on Ling Roach. Soul's about to max out. And Soul's about to commit. Jesus, that is a lot of mutas though. With this man, he can overwhelm the Phoenixes. But Stalkers, they come in to reinforce. Ooh, Stalkers move in, Storm as well. At the same time, here comes that Zealot drop. Zealots into the third. Attempted warp in into the main. The warp in will finish. DPS is just not high enough here with these Corruptors. Zealots take it in. And everything races home. Yeah, Solar, he races back home to defend. As a recall, preserves the Zealots. And this is just giving Classic some breathing room. Now he has room to breathe. The +1 air attack is on the way. Fleet Beacon is on the way. A second Stargate, double Phoenix production, Phoenix range, Anion Pulse Crystals. Classic is getting there. Again, Solar, he is up, what, 60 supply? But a lot of it are in mutas. Ooh, Storm lands. A lot of it is in mutas and in roaches. As the Immortals, they respond to the roaches. Yeah, roaches are being shut down. Mutas, they don't find a way in. The Phoenix count is getting higher. And this time is becoming that much less effective. Oh, Storm once again zones. How many Phoenixes do we have? Getting up to 9. Yeah, nice Phoenix control. He pulls away. If these Phoenixes are controlled well, they should not go down to the mutas. And we're seeing Solar respond. Corruptors. He's building up more Corruptors. Now, the way this works is Corruptors are built to tank. They're built to tank the Phoenixes. And try to zone them away. But you have to be so careful with these mutas. One wrong step and Storms will just shut this down. Storms, Archons, the Phoenixes themselves. These mutas are so fragile. Once again, Storm does zone away. Ling Roche was left hand side. Army's out of position. Classic able to respond. Rotates over. Bailey's morphing in. Because they do catch one of the Phoenixes. Not bad. Gets one, gets two. Two Phoenixes go down. The Archons, they get caught in between. Oh, looks like Funka lagged out. No, Funka. Smooch. Our French caster. Yeah, storms, they're brutal. Oh my god. Yeah, the music getting low. Banelings, they try to weld into the mineral line. But Classicy pulls away. Classicy does pull away in time. The Phoenixes, they do take care of most of the mutas as well. There's 3 mutas left. Down to 3 mutas. And that was expensive. That was expensive loss here for Solar. He lost how many? He lost 37 mutas. Look at the gas loss here. The resources. Oh my god. It's a massive loss on the mutas, but hey, he's rebuilding. He's doing it again. Run it back, Pappy. Run it back. As there are no more storms, true. Okay. Yeah, no more storms. Mutas, they take down the Stalkers. They take down the Archon. 4th base should fall. And now there are only 2 Phoenixes left. Only 2 Phoenixes. Up until this point, Classic, he was defending well. But he is being broken. Now being forced further back. Mutas, they just have free reign. There's no anti-air here. The Zealots, the Immortals. What can they do, Pappy? What can they do? Oof. As GG gets called. GG gets called. Solar, he does shut down the army. The mutas, they snowball out of control. And we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Solar, he does bring it back. Brings it back, Pappy. Oh. And with that, we're getting into that final game. Un momento. As again, I was a little bit concerned here with the mutas, but we saw that they went unscouted, right? They went unscouted in the end. We saw that the spire was kept hidden. Classic did react, did respond to the mutas as they were popping out, and he was able to deal with the first wave, but he could not maintain that low ground 4th base. If you remember, we spoke about it, but the 4th base specifically on this map is very open, very exposed, and very difficult to defend, and we saw that Classicy failed to do so, failed to protect, failed to defend that low ground 4th expansion, couldn't really maintain his army, couldn't really keep up with the trades. Yes, he killed 37 mutas, but he couldn't keep going, couldn't replace those trades. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 5, and I believe it should all end here. Oh, I brought this up earlier. Okay, we're going to be getting into Tourmaline. Tourmaline, one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Let's go. Here we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss, the South Korean Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is a classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg himself representing Team Falcons. It is a Solar. Okay, here we go. Solar able to bring us all the way to the ace match here. It all ends in game 5. As we get into this, welcome to Tourmaline. We brought this up earlier in regards to how Solar went for all-ins on 2 maps, which were kind of seen ahead of time, Ruby Rock and 10,000 Feet. Those are the maps where all-ins are favored on. This is another one of those maps. Tourmaline is very open. As you can see here, we have a massive entrance into the triangular 3rd base. We have a massive entrance here in between the bases as well, and we have a very short rush distance spike round and also a very direct rush distance spike round. Unlike on other maps, there aren't any like high ground or low ground points of elevation. There's no terrain either. The one thing kind of disrupting your path from natural to natural is the tall grass. Like, that's really it. So there's not really much to stop you or to slow you down. So all-ins are very, very trendy here on Tourmaline. They hit hard. They hit hard, and we'll see if Solar does kind of go back to that. Now though, we're calming down. Now, we have seen Solar go mutas twice now in this series. Again, I don't expect to see it here on Tourmaline. On the larger maps like White Rabbits, sure, makes sense. Like the Old Republic, like Winter Madness, Celestial Enclave, Oh my god, hello. That's classic. Going for the proxy pylon. Okay, sets up for the pylon, sets up for what I would imagine would be a proxy Stargate. This is a rare sight in ZVP. Cybercore is done. Waiting for the pylon. Show us the Stargate. Are we going full NA ladder? We are, jeez. So this is a build that is seen obviously in PvP, true. It's also seen in PvT a little bit more commonly as well. herO, for example, is very fond of mixing this in. We see this quite a lot between herO versus Clem, for example. To go for the proxy oracle to get economic damage done. Seeing it here against Zerg feels very risky. The reason for that is because because of how many lings there should be early on, scouting and shutting down the proxy is going to be a little bit easier for the Zerg player. I'm not saying that they're going to scout and shut down the initial proxy before the oracle pops out, no, but after the oracle reveals itself. Losing the Stargate is pretty huge in this matchup. As you've seen game after game after game, oracles play a big role in the early to mid game. Like triple oracle openers is the reason why that is standard. It keeps the Protoss player safe. It keeps them safe. It allows them to be aggressive and to harass. Allows them to scout more importantly as well. So to lose this Stargate is going to be a big blow. If he loses it. Like I'm assuming he will, but until then we have 2 adepts rocking up. The oracle is going to be faster than normal. We'll see what class can get done. Not entirely convinced, but we'll see. As the first oracle dives into the main, Queen is in position. Solo does pull away in time. Despite that, he'll lose. Oh, 1. Yeah, 1 drone goes down. Losing 2, losing 3. Okay. 3 drone kills. Takes down 3 workers. At the same time, we have that second oracle. Backup pylon. Hold up. What's going on? Solo's looking. Yeah, Solo, he's searching, he's looking, trying to find the proxy. And eventually he will find it. But we're setting up more gateways. It's a 2-base all-in. Okay, now it makes sense. Now we understand that we don't intend to get into the mid-game. Like, if you remember, I was concerned. I was saying that, oh, if you proxy the Stargate, it means that your mid-game is going to be weaker because you won't be able to replace your oracles or make any more. But there's not going to be a mid-game. So it makes sense. It does make sense. How many gateways? We have 2 gateways back at home. We have 2 proxies across the map. It's going to be 4 gate glaives out of Classic. He's getting his 3rd. This is just for show. As the Twilight Council's proxied. And again, it's such a smart position as well. Because this is right next to the actual proxy Stargate, there's a very low chance that Solar keeps scouting. Because he found the proxy. He's like, oh, I dealt with this. There's nothing else to scout. There's nothing else to see. Overlord is going into the main. Lings they poke in towards the 3rd base. There's 2 adepts in position. Only 2 adepts. Lings they come in for a surround. The oracles they race back home. The Stargate is depowered. And the Overlord gets a full scout. And Solar, he sees nothing. And that's important. He sees where's the tech? What's going on? Where is everything? So again, alarm bells should be ringing here for Solar. Technically, it could all be here at the natural, but that's very unorthodox. He's looking, checking behind the mineral line. He's thinking something's wrong. Like something is horribly wrong here. As oracles, they do threaten. Here come the adepts, they're warping in. And what is it to defend? We have 7. Okay, decent chunk of roaches. We have 7 roaches. No Sim City here at the natural, so adepts they can shade in. But the roaches are in position. Solar, he's ready for this. He's got plenty of roaches. And adepts they cannot fight head on. They have to get into a mineral line. Shading towards the natural. Doesn't commit. Doesn't commit to the shade. We have more adepts coming in. Classic, this is not good enough. He needs more damage. But again, Soul's been playing safe. A part of the reason for this is because he didn't see anything. So he's been making safety roaches. Classic looking for another way in. Where are we shading? Okay, rotating over towards the fourth. Let's go. Does rotate over. Hoping to at least force a cancel. Behind this, building up into Archon Immortal. And hey, he does cancel. Okay. Let's cancel the expansion. Classic pulls away at the same time to Adept Station into the third. They can watch your drones, and they will. 1, 2, 3 drones go down. Getting into 4, getting into 5. Oof. 6, 7 towards the end. Very nice damage here by Classic. 7 drones. Pressure's on Solar. Pressure is on. I still want to favor Solar's position if he does push, just because he's built up quite a decent chunk of Roach Ravager, and back at home, there aren't that many Immortals. Oh, nah, I have to eat my words. There's already 3. In my mind, there were like 2. There's going to be 4 Immortals. Nah, Classic is fine. He's perfectly fine here. Let's go to his Immortal Army. Storm is halfway done. Solar is going for the German taxi. Okay. So Solar, he's droned up to 66. That is 3 base saturation. It's going to be a 3 base all-in out of Solar. Yes, he's getting the 4th base, but it is just for show, just for Larva. It looks like this decision was made most likely because of the cancellation and because of the 7 dead workers. Like, Solar's taken a lot of economic damage. He believes that macroing is not really an option. It's not an option. Time to all-in. So the Queens are walking across the map. Overlords, they can spread their creep. Massling Bane here on the right hand side. And Storm is ready. How many High Templar? 4. Okay, there's 4 Templar. There's going to be at least 4 Storms. The Lings, they flood into the main. And the wall's not a wall. High Templar. The High Templar exposed. 2 High Templar go down. There's 2 left. Banelings, they roll in. Massive connections. Yeah, massive connections here with the Banelings. And with that, Solar, he breaks the main army. Gets himself a 1, gets himself a 2 Immortals. Again, Classic's army was clumped up. And Classic is hurting. Again, that was maybe the best fight that Solar could have hoped for. He distracted Classic, he forced the army to clump up, came in for the flank. Massive Bailey connections. And now Solar's getting ready for Wave 2. He's gearing up for Wave 2. And now Classic is down to 1 Immortal. If Classic had retained the Immortals, different story. But he lost all the High Templar, 0 Storms. Only 2 Immortals. And I believe Solar should break through. Again, that defense earlier was just too poor. That's a building on more roaches. And again, he caught another Immortal. So there's still only 1 Immortal. Only 1. There's 1 Storm. There's the NG overcharge. There's the 1 Storm. Classic is buying time. He's buying time. He's getting a 2nd Immortal. Solar still waiting for reinforcements. Solar, he's still waiting. There's potential with the stasis trap, but the High... Oh no, the Templar they extend. Yeah, miscontrol here. 2 High Templar go down. 3 High Templar. There's 1 Templar left. And no Immortals. Yeah, no Immortals remaining. Also getting sniped here. So again, Classic just caught with his pants down, caught out of position. Caught mid rotation. Another High Templar falls. And with that, Solar, he will advance on. It's not going to be a PvP semifinals. herO is waiting for the winner of the series. And it's going to be Solar. It's going to be Solar. And on the one hand, yes, this is Solar all-inning, but at the same time, it was also Classic being crazy, right? It was Classic who went for the Proxy Stargate, Classic who committed into Glaive Adepts, and the Glaive Adepts were not worth it. In the end, the Glaive Adepts were not worth it. Solar, he was playing safe, he had plenty of roaches, he shut down the Adepts. Here he takes down the Robo. GG gets called, there's nothing left, and Solar, he'll claim the series 3-2, advancing on to the semis. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Hyper aggression, 3-base all-in there out of solo, but again, it's an all-in as a response, as a reaction to the earlier Glaive Adepts of Classic, which again, failed to get damage done. The Glaive Adepts were not worth it. It set Classic behind, but more importantly, we saw the engage there. Despite the rough start from Classic, I will say that there was potential for the defense, but we spoke about it at the start of the game. The area specifically on Tourmaline is much more open. The area at the third and outside of the natural, it's very, very open. So even if you had the tools to defend, the map is working against you. The map is favoring whoever is going for the all-in, so it's easier to all-in into that third, into that natural. And we saw that Classic was unable to create any choke points. He was caught by the flank, got caught off guard, massive Baneling connections. GG. Those Banelings, they killed like 3 Templar. Like 3 Templar went down early on, barely any storms. And in that moment, I believe 2 Immortals also got caught as well. 2 Immortals. But GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar, as Solar does claim the series, Solar does advance on, and Classic is out of the tournament. Classic, he's out of the Rongyi Cup, and instead we have herO and Solar in the upper matches, in the upper semifinals. And with that, let's catch up with the bracket. Let's go. Let us go. Un momento. Bam, beautiful. Okay, so over on Wikipedia, you can actually, I'll link it in the chat. I got you. Bam. But over on Wikipedia, as you can see here, we have herO and Solar. They're going to be facing off in the semifinals. ShoWTimE is out, Classic is out, and for day 2 we have Clem versus Trigger, and we also have Creator versus Maru. Ooh, 2 TVPs back to back. We have 2 best of 5s. Again, that is going to be beginning now. We will not be casting it live. We'll be casting it tomorrow via replays. So we're doing a replay cast instead. But again, these matches are about to go live, and I would imagine maybe Wardy or Rotterdam or one of the other casters should be covering those matches. I'll be covering it. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We just wrapped up with day 1, and we should be live with day 2 tomorrow. Just bear that in mind. Babylings, thank you so much for the raid. I was just about to raid you. I was just about to raid you. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, hope you had a great ladder session, hope you had a great time. Bienvenidos everyone, bienvenidos. Thank you so much, as we are about to wrap up. Again, we just wrapped up with Rongyi Cup, with the Rongyi Cup playoffs day 1, and tomorrow we'll be live with day 2. So thank you so much for watching, thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for some more StarCraft. If you're just tuning in, again, we do cast StarCraft here on a daily basis. Bam, when it comes to our schedule, you can see here that we should be live tomorrow with the Pegasus Cup. That's a bit of a maybe on that one. It's going to be an intense couple of days, so maybe on Pegasus Cup. And of course, we have Rongyi Cup day 2 tomorrow evening as well. We have the Pawncast on Thursday. As you can see, we have Friday off, we have Thursday morning off as well. I did mention this previously, but one of our pet bunnies is going to be having an operation. That's going to be happening on Thursday, so that's why we have Thursday and Friday off. And that's also why we're going to have a bit of a leaner time over the next week of play of StarCraft, of casting. So just some things happening IRL, and won't be free over the as much over the next week of play. Tomorrow will be like the last full day of casting before we take a bit of a step back. But otherwise, again, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Again, we'll be live tomorrow with day 2 of the Rongyi Cup, and maybe with Pegasus Cup as well. So that'll be the 2 events going on tomorrow. We have the Pawncast on Thursday. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Good luck, bunnies. Yes, good luck, bunnies. I'm sure they're going to be okay. I'm sure. Of course, a little bit stressed about it, of course, but we'll do our best. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft stream a raid. Who is live at the moment? I see Rotterdam. I see Wardy. They are going live. Wow. Sorta. We'll give Sorta some love. Give him some love. Give him some support. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, alright, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. I do apologize for the Tunic Cups being irregular in January, but again, there's just been a lot of things happening IRL, so I just have not been as available to cast as much. So Tuna Cup has been a little bit shaky in January, but should be coming back strong in February. Likewise, you can also support us by following us on YouTube. If you maybe enjoyed Rongyi Cup, and if you want to see more of Rongyi Cup, it's all on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. The group stage, Group A, B, C, and D, all there available to you. With that, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. See you tomorrow. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you tomorrow.